Go ahead and click record. And I don't have a pop filter, so I'm going to sound bad, but YOLO swag, and let's hit it. That's hella loud. There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix podcast. I am Garlic, per usual, and this is my buddy Josh. Say hi to the folks, Josh. Josh? Oh, that's fucking right. I'm in Florida right now. There's no fucking Josh here, is there? Ha, I bet that was a good bit, and everyone is rolling on the floor laughing right now because I'm so funny. Nope, but I am here in sunny Orlando, Florida. Right now I can see out the deck of my hotel room. Got a beautiful view of a closed pool, so that's nice. Never forget to engage the show. Our email is hiddenoaksoverdose@gmail.com, or we got a Facebook page. You go on Facebook and you search @HoodPod, I think, or our Facebook page name is Hidden Oaks Overdose Football Fix. So you can find us there. Since Josh isn't here, I'm actually going to call him on Skype, and this Skype call is supposed to be supported through the hotel Wi-Fi that I'm using right now. So if the call ends or if we have technical issues, sucks to be us, I guess.
They've done studies 60%
and
of
I
the
can't
time,
type.
it works every time.
This is great. I can't
That
type
doesn't
on
make sense.
Can't type on the keyboard because the soundboard will go crazy. All right. Hope you're enjoying these dial tones. They're really nice. All right, we're gonna call Josh here. Hopefully he fucking answers.
Yeah,
Is this the Joshua Mitchell?
absolutely. Is this the Garlic Johnson?
The one, the only Garlic Johnson.
How's Minnesota?
I don't know. You tell me, pal. I'm guessing she's fucking cold and covered in snow by now.
No, actually, I'm not in Minnesota. I'm in Buffalo.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, no. I hear their rookie Josh Rosen went down with an injury, and they're looking for a quarterback. And so I'm out there at their open tryouts.
They're open tryouts, huh? Is anyone out there teaching you to football?
No, Uncle Rico's here giving some pointers on how to throw the pigskin. But they have some guy named Nathan Peterman and Derek Anderson handing out water. And so it's been a pretty good time.
Sounds about right. That's pretty much all those two are good for. Was that the opening joke that you were so proud of?
I never said I was proud of it. I just said I had an opening joke, Garlic. Don't lie to the listeners.
All right. No, that's cool. All right. So I already introed the show. I already told them about our email and our Facebook, and I said hi to the folks. So Josh, how are you doing today?
Oh, doing great. I get to sit in a comfy chair when I'm doing this podcast today.
Yeah.
So it's been going well. Not a big fan of using my Xbox headset as a microphone. I can hear myself echoing, and I'm sure if Odin squeaks, there's going to be background noise in the podcast, so I apologize, everybody.
Yeah. Josh sounds funny already because, like I said earlier, and Josh has alluded to, I'm in Florida, he's in Minnesota, so I just had to call him over my computer using Skype, and my Skype is currently being supported by hotel Wi-Fi. So Josh, that's the one thing I didn't warn you about. Is there a potential for connection issues here? But we'll just see how she goes.
Okay. I mean, hotel Wi-Fi is probably more reliable than your Wi-Fi, so...
All right, dick.
All right. NFL news. Is that what we're on next?
Yeah. Not NFL news. My computer keeps confoculating. It's fine right now, but I've got a problem with my screen. But I was going to take a picture of it, but it went away, so it's not important. You can go with the NFL.com. Go for it, boss.
All right. Yeah. No, I actually had it pulled up this time. I think the last 2 weeks I forgot.
I'm so proud of you, little buddy.
What to watch for in Broncos Cards game. I'm guessing touchdowns. Rams
Broncos and Cardinals.
ruled out Cup for Sunday. So his knee is going to keep him out this week. Top 10 contract pushes. Who's about to get paid? People. Roger Goodell says exciting games are players pushing for growth. Hilton didn't practice. Oh, he practiced fully after not playing last week. Khalil Mack is not in Lawrence Taylor's class, which is true, even though he's a stud. Tannehill's out. Start your Brock Lobsters. Derek Anderson's going to start for the Bills. And Elway says the Broncos are fighting for our lives versus the Cards.
I believe all those. Any reactions to those, Josh? Do you give a shit about any of those?
Not a whole lot, I guess, if I'm going to be completely honest. I guess the Broncos fighting for their lives after starting 2-0 is pretty interesting. But then again, it's as they alluded to in this headline, I'm not going to take credit for this, but it is Brocktoberfest in Miami.
Oh, my God. Brocktoberfest, huh? That sounds greasy.
All right, sorry, I'm typing up notes that I didn't take at work today.
Oh, God.
But yeah, it's one of those podcast people. Do you have anything to add? Anything that strikes your fancy, my good sir?
For NFL news, no. I mean, Le'Veon Bell is allegedly coming back next week. The Steelers are on their bye right now, so I guess we'll know by this time next week if that's true or not, because he's supposed to report on Monday. Other than that, no. It's a shame Josh Allen is hurt, but fucking YOLO swag. I think Khalil Mack could potentially get to the LT or Lawrence Taylor echelon someday, but I agree with Belichick that he's not there now for sure.
All right. So let's talk about the Vikings game on Sunday. How'd they do?
Well, the Vikings, they won, Josh. We were 10-point favorites, I believe, so those are games we're normally supposed to lose because that's how the world goes, but the Vikings won. I was able to catch all the game, I think. Yeah, I caught it all, but I didn't have any audio. I was watching it at a sports bar here in Orlando, so it was kind of drag not having audio, but the Vikings won. I think Kirk Cousins had a questionable interception in there at some point. Or no, it was just a questionable I can't remember. Other than that, the team looked pretty good. Latavius Murray got going, so that's always good when your running game gets going. It alleviates the pass rush, and Kirk Cousins had more time in the pocket, I think. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say. Josh Rosen looked mediocre. The passing game of the Cardinals wasn't that great, so I understand Minnesota Vikings fans and national analysts themselves are getting excited that the Vikings are at 2-0, but we just beat two teams that, in my opinion, aren't that great, so we should probably calm down. I mean, the Eagles are the reigning Super Bowl champions, I get it, but they haven't been playing to that level this year, in my opinion, and then the Cardinals are like 1-5, I think. So.
But they just beat the Giants.
I mean, Alabama could beat the Giants.
Okay, we're not getting into this debate. Alabama could beat Cleveland. No, they can't. I'm sorry.
Do you have any thoughts on the Vikings game, Josh? I assumed you watched it as well. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watched it, and like you said, you guys won a game that you should have won. The run game for Arizona sucks right now. I saw somewhere that they run the ball up the middle more than any other team, despite having David Johnson, who's a shifty, nifty running back.
Shifty? Did I hear shifty, nifty? Is that racist?
Shifty, nifty? No, that's just like calling someone a gym rat.
Real class act, that David Johnson.
Yeah. But so it was a decent game to watch. It wasn't, anything flashy. Like you said, Kirk Cousins had a questionable pass in there. I think it was intercepted. But he managed to keep the game going. Adam Thielen is an absolute stud. I'm not going to deny it. And so speaking of Adam Thielen, on the drive home from work the other day, I was listening to one of the talk radio shows that I always listen to, and they were trying to come up. They had asked for input on a nickname for Adam Thielen, since all the greats have their nicknames. And one that came in that I thought if they adopt it, I might have to buy his jersey, because it was White Rice.
White Rice? I like it.
As in the white Jerry Rice.
I understand. No, that's pretty cool.
But, it makes sense because he's white and he's rice. Yeah, other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say about the game. Obviously, the run game got going. Defense looked solid, but then again, they were playing another rookie quarterback. and then they still allowed some big plays here and there, especially early on to Christian Kirk and things.
Yeah, I think I wrote down a note. I think I'm meant to watch football alone, just because, I mean, I don't think you've ever watched football at the ranch, maybe not a full game, but I was sitting there with uncles and some family friends, and they were literally every single play, they were never happy. If the defense didn't sack them for a 20-yard loss, they're screaming at the TV. If Kirk Cousins held onto the ball for more than 3 seconds, they're screaming at the TV. Or they always every single time Kirk Cousins holds the ball, they just yell, "Throw it." Like they're screaming at him for not throwing the ball. I don't think they understand that Kirk Cousins probably would have thrown the ball if there's an open receiver, but he's going through his progressions, and he's not going to just throw the ball anywhere. I mean, sometimes quarterbacks will throw up a 50-50 ball, but that's not great practice all the time. And so, I don't know, man.
Right.
I watch a lot of football with people that I think don't understand football that great.
Are these the same uncles that have the Lombardi Trophy with the Vikings logo on it, and they keep adding the Roman numeral 1 every year? This is our year, guys. 53 dash marks on their arm.
I don't have any uncles like that, but no. So no.
Okay. Any other games on Sunday that you want to talk about?
Well, we could talk about that Pack game on Monday.
We're going to go sequential based on when the games actually happened.
Honestly, don't off the top of my head. I was the irresponsible one this week. I didn't bring up the Google of the NFL results from last week, so I don't even remember most of the games. I think the Sunday night game was pretty good, from what I recall.
Sunday night was really good.
New England KC high scoring game.
43-40. Yeah, it looked like it was going to go into overtime until Tom Brady drove him downfield.
Mm-hmm.
What about Miami Chicago?
Ooh, okay. So that's in the game I wasn't. I think that was also a noon game, so I wasn't primarily watching that game, but I did see it there. I was in a sports bar, so there's TVs everywhere. Brock Osweiler was just shredding that Chicago defense that I've been praising all year so far. So that's not great. And yeah, that field goal at the end there just cinched it.
Yeah. Well, what about Kenyon Drake fumbling on the 1-yard line in overtime?
Yeah,
then them having to get the ball back and driving it back down to score. Frank Gore carrying the team on his back.
Dude, Frank Gore looked like a stud. That guy is honestly incredible. But yeah, no, it was an exciting game, and I mean, it was pretty similar to, I think, the Vikings-Packers game earlier this season when we ended up in a tie. There was a lot of back and forth. You could make arguments that either team should have won that game. I don't recall any blatant bad penalty calls, at least not any egregious ones for one side or the other. So if there were, that was probably equal. But it's interesting to watch someone like Brock Osweiler shred the Chicago D. If anything, it's because no one has tape on Brock Osweiler anymore. It's probably still on VHS tape because that's the last time the guy was good. But yeah, interesting game for sure. That's one of those things that makes the NFL interesting. That's why I enjoy the way the NFL works and the salary cap and all those other things.
Yeah. I'm looking over the list of games here, and there were a lot of actually really good games and really good finishes. Pittsburgh winning it as time expires against Cincy.
Oh yeah, that touchdown to AB, that was good.
Yeah, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Atlanta squeaking out a win. Tampa Bay almost scored on a razzle-dazzle.
Oh, yeah, I texted you about that. Deshaun Jackson dropped the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas just destroying Jacksonville's defense.
God, that hurt me inside.
And then the Buffalo-Houston game as well with the pick six at the end to win it.
Mm-hmm.
After Allen went down and they brought in Nathan Peterman.
Of all the people to bring in Nathan Peterman, they never should have. They got rid of Joe Webb. That was their fatal move. I don't know if they traded him or released him, but they need Joe Webb on that team, I think.
Right. But yeah, now we can move into the Monday night game.
Packers, Josh. Let's hear it.
They're trying to shave years off my life this season. I swear. Week's one game cost me 5. Week 2, that was the Vikings game, right? Yeah. No. When did we play the Vikings? Was it week 2?
I think it was week 2. We were both
week 2.
Yep.
That shaved off a couple more years. Stupid ass tie. Week 3 was the Washington game. I didn't get a chance to watch it because it wasn't televised, but it was just ugly. So I won't say that shaved anything off. Week 4 was, oh my God, I can't even remember the Packers schedule off the top of my head. It's embarrassing.
The Bills?
Yeah, week 4 was the Bills. So that one was okay. That one gave me a year back at least, maybe 2. Week 5 was the Detroit game.
Yep.
And that one, Mason Crosby, each missed field goal shaved a year off. Extra point was 6 months. And then that Monday night game, I swear to God, I am going to die in 3 weeks.
Really?
Yep. I turned it off at one point and just sat there, and then I had to turn it back on. And we were 10-point favorites, something like that at least, and getting shredded by Beat Off Hard and Marquise Badwin, and it was just gross. Rodgers started off hot. I think he had 150 yards in the first 2-3 drives, and then he disappeared the entire second and third quarter. And I texted you every single time. He needs to pretend that they're losing in the fourth quarter every single drive, and he's going to throw 80 yards and a touchdown every single drive.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
But yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't have a whole bunch of voodoo, magic, ritual stuff going on when Mason Crosby lined up for that game winner.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I was nervous.
Mm-hmm. Were you ready to sacrifice your dogs?
No, I would never do that.
You won't do that
but
for
I was
Packers
hoping that
win,
Devontae
Josh.
would have brought that one down for a touchdown for fantasy purposes, but whatever.
Yeah, understandable.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, that was an exciting game. I was surprised how close the 49ers were. Honestly, I think I missed the first half of the game, and I think I texted you about kind of what happened, because I think I looked at my phone at one point, and I was getting ready to sit down and watch the game, but it was like 21-20 or 24-20 or something like that right going into halftime. I was like, holy shit, Josh, what's going on here? Because I thought it would be like 24-3 or 24-7 maybe, but I was surprised to see how close it was.
Yeah, Marquise Goodwin burned him for a couple long touchdowns. Nobody on that defense is fast enough to cover him. So, he's an Olympic sprinter. He was hurt against the Vikings, so I'm sure he would have been able to break free for a big play there too. I think this was the first week he's been healthy, so that was kind of fortunate.
Yeah, I believe it's the first week he's been on the field as well.
Not to say that he would have torched the Vikings defense. I don't think that by any means, but he has the potential to do it.
Josh, in the first couple weeks, I could have torched the Vikings defense. Okay.
I guess. No, that's not a lie. But yeah, and then the Packers defense getting that pick at the end to stop that drive. Not only did it help kind of seal a victory for the Packers, but it helped seal my defeat in a fantasy league in which I lost by 0.14 points.
Oof. Did it sting?
No, because the Packers still won the game. So it didn't bother me as much. I didn't deserve to win that week anyways. I only put up 77.
Yeah. No, Rodgers looked good. And so we were texting about it back and forth at this point in the game. But going back to that pick you just mentioned, I'm not trying to be controversial here because I don't think it would have mattered in the grand scheme of things, but was that actually a pick, or should that have been called back and then it would have been like 4th and 2 or something like that?
That's everybody texted. A lot of people texted me saying that wasn't a pick, but they called it catch. It wasn't in the Packers game. It was in a different game where they called it a catch, and it was the guy had it in his hands, and then it clearly moved and bobbled around it when it was on the ground, but then he came up with it still, and they reviewed it and still called it a catch. I honestly think that they're just sitting back there and they're going, "We got to call it a catch. We got to call it a catch." So they're just trying to do damage control at this point.
Sure. No, I was just curious what your thought was. Like I said, I didn't really care that much. Not like I'm over here heated about it. I'm sure you were on Reddit like the day after the game. Everyone was pissed about that illegal contact call. That to me looked like a very clear illegal contact call, but Reddit was furious. And it wasn't just Vikings fans. It was like general NFL fans. We were pretty split on it. I'd say 50-50 about whether it was legit or not.
Yeah, it was definitely illegal contact, but at the same time, I don't think that Rodgers is going to make a play to that guy anyways. So granted, there's holding calls on kickoff returns where the holding happens on the opposite side of the field, the two guys shaking hands and the flag comes out. So who knows? It's just the way the game goes, and I do think it was illegal contact, but I think that if they would have let it slide, it wouldn't have bothered me. Okay, it would have bothered me a lot, but it wouldn't have ruined my evening like the Clay Matthews sack on Kirk Cousins earlier this year.
All right. Well, we should probably move on here in a sec, but another controversial thing that I've read about multiple weeks now is kind of how, I don't know if it's just the Packers or if it's around the NFL, but specifically it seems to be the Packers. We can talk about it like next week or something. It's like the offensive linemen on the Packers like hold the shoulder pads of the D lineman. It's supposed to be holding, but it's never called, or it's very reluctantly called. So I don't know if that's an NFL-wide thing or if it's just a Packers thing, but I see a lot of people get furious about that. But we can talk about that another time.
Which subreddit are you reading that in?
Just our NFL.
Okay, I mean it happens all the time. Our NFL, if it says that, it's usually a Lions fan or a Vikings fan commenting on it, and the holding happens on every single play, and they once that player starts moving outside and the guy's hands don't release, then they'll call it. But yeah, I mean there's definitely times where I see guys holding on the Packers and it's not called, and then there's times where it happens on other teams. So people can complain about it all they want, but until they make a rule against you got to wear boxing gloves out there, then it's going to happen every play.
That would be interesting. Yeah, I think that's good. Anything else about week 6 recap, games, all the shit that happened? I know we went sequentially, and that's
too
Monday
much
night.
time.
So, all right. So now we're moving on to week 7 preview. We start off with the lock and upset leaderboard. Josh, you wanna start us out there?
I have 6 after taking 1 point last week, and Garlic has 6.5 after taking 1 point last week.
Bitches. I just get excited when I'm in the lead for things.
Who do you got this week?
All right, for my lock, so I'm sure if you're looking at the leaderboard with me right now, for my locks, I get my locks every week. So I'm going to go with a more controversial lock this week. I'm going to go with Indy over Buffalo. Maybe Derek Anderson's going to make me look like a bitch, but I want to keep my lock picks a little more interesting instead of just going with clear favorites. So I'll go with Indy over Buffalo just because that quarterback situation in Buffalo is sketchy. And for my upset, I'm going Chicago, New England. I think last time I looked at it last night, I think Vegas Insider had New England as 3-point favorites or 2.5-point favorites. So I think that's pretty close actually for Chicago, even though they just lost to the Miami. So I don't know. I always like to go with hot takes and interesting upset picks. You've known that for me for many years. So I'll go Chicago over New England.
Good for you. I'm going to go Kansas City over Cincinnati as my lock. I think Kansas City is going to bounce back after losing to New England. I mean, they still put up 40 points. Cincy's got a solid defense, though. And then my upset is going to be Arizona over Denver on the Thursday night game.
Ooh.
I think that one was, I forget the spread on that one. I think it was like 3.5, 4 points. I don't know. When I looked, it was more than 3 when I looked. But I think that Arizona's defense is pretty solid. And they're going to start feeding the ball to David Johnson like they said they're going to do the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Sure would. What about, so General Fantasy.
Well,
God, I love the name of this segment.
Hold on. Are there any other Week 7 games you're excited about? I don't know if you've looked at the schedule or not, if you got the paper out. Who do the Packers play this week? Or no, they're on their bye, aren't they, or no?
Yeah, they're going to win their bye, hopefully.
Ooh, that'd be nice. So just games next week. Obviously, the Vikings play the Jets. I'm excited to see if we can beat them. That's a game we should win in theory, but Sam Darnold's been pretty good. Todd Bowles keeps a good defense. Eagles-Panthers should be a good one. Patriots-Bears, like I said.
No.
Oop, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for all those games you listed.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any other exciting ones. 49ers-Rams should be okay. Cowboys-Skins, divisional matchup should be good, and then Bengals-Chiefs should be good. Monday night, I don't really care for Giants-Falcons. Yeah. All right, I'm sorry.
That's a disgusting matchup. That's a 2-4 team and a 2-4 team or something like that. 1-5.
Lions-Dolphins game, that should be good.
Lions-Dolphins?
Yeah.
That should be fun. Yeah, can they just flex that Monday night game to never?
They don't really flex Monday night games. They just flex around Sunday night games. Or Sunday games. Sorry, Josh.
I know. But it was a joke, Garlic. But yeah, General Fantasy.
Yeah, greatest segment name in the history forever. Josh, you're supposed to be the creative person, so if you want to come up with a better name, you fucking go for it, boss. I'm not tying us to that name by any means.
All right. So I'll start with my record here. And I forgot to do my versus the entire league for week 6. Oh well. week 6 I finished 4-3, so kind of we'll call it an even split. One of the leagues I lost by 0.14, as I already alluded to. The other one I lost by 13 because somebody had Patrick Mahomes and a couple other guys who put up ridiculous points. It's a bonus point league, so Patrick Mahomes had like 55. And then, Saquon Barkley had 51. So, yeah, kind of hard to beat those two guys. And then the Dynasty League I lost, but we're going to get into that soon. Yeah. So my overall on the season is my 7 leagues is 26-16.
Beautiful. That's not bad. Yep. I don't think we said it at the very beginning, but this is our great assault before we start giving quote-unquote fantasy advice. I went 5-3 this week. So again, I haven't gone negative since the first 2 weeks. I've gone even a couple times, but I'm getting some wins in here. I still have a pretty rocky fantasy season, though. I'm 22-26 overall in the year, so that's not great. The redraft league that we'll talk about in a moment here, I'm 1-5. I'm getting fucked in that league over and over again. It's not like I keep losing close games or anything. I'm getting unfair bullshit. It's not like it's unlucky or anything like that. Just made maybe a couple questionable draft decisions, and I don't know. That league's probably done unless I can make something crazy happen here and go on a big run. But 22-26 overall, losing record, but it's pretty close. Started out slow, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, stud dud. I'm sure you noticed that I incorporated a scoring system after we discussed it last week, just because it would be nice to see how it kind of matches up. So I just did the differential, so what they're projected and then their actual score. So it's not going to have we'll let the listeners decide what is considered a stud and what is considered a dud.
Yeah, I very distinctly remember you saying, I'm not going to fucking score that last week on the pod, but it's whatever. Yeah. So stud and dud performance. Historically, Josh, you want to talk about your stud and dud differential at the moment?
Well, if you're listening, don't listen to my stud predictions. I've got both of those wrong. My dud predictions have been spot on, mostly because last week Delvin Cook was projected to play, and then Sunday morning they said he's not. And so that got me 16 points there, which was nice.
Really boosted up that score.
We had 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks, and so my total difference between my studs, -9 points. My duds, +22 for an overall of 13.
Yep. So here's our last grain of salt. My studs have been meh. Technically, both guys I've picked have outperformed their projections these 2 weeks, Wentz and Trey Burton, but only by like 3 points each. So my studs are meh. My duds, I'm 50-50 on. I had a dud in Mahomes, but then Saquon last week, I called him a dud, and he fucking torched me. So that was a negative.
He almost doubled his projection. How is that just a meh?
Ugh. Well, it's a fuck you, Josh. But no, Saquon absolutely burned me. That was a terrible dud prediction. That's a -18 differential. So I'm +7 on my studs, but I'm -15 on my duds. So overall, I'm -8 with my studs so far. Who do you got on your studs and duds for this week, Josh?
Antonio Callaway is my stud of the week. He's projected 9.9. Obviously, in PPR, that's low for a speed wide receiver. I'm hoping for 80-yard touchdown, even though last week I said those don't count. They count when I predict it. And so
must be nice.
I think that he's gonna do fine. He's not gonna be, I wouldn't start him in your leagues unless you absolutely have to.
What kind of stud would you not start?
My studs.
Oh, all right. My bad. Sorry I spoke.
And then my dud of the week is someone you will start, and that's going to be Mike Evans, because you always play your studs, but he's going to be a dud this week because I don't like Jameis Winston and his crab-stealing ass.
That's true. That's fair. So for my stud, I got Corey Clement. Sorry, started there. He's projected 12.2 this week. As I haven't looked up the specific stats, but as I understand it, he absolutely dominated that Philadelphia backfield in the game he just played. Wendell Smallwood, I think, had 1 catch for 51 yards. That's why he had 5 fantasy points. I don't think he did anything rushing. So projected 12.2. If you're going to be the primary cowbell back or whatever that term is for the Eagles, I think Corey Clement easily outdoes the projection of 12.2. And my dud this week is going to be a controversial one for Josh, but I'm taking Kamara only because Mark Ingram's back.
You take it back.
I know. Kamara's projected 18.5, and he could easily put down 40 points. It kind of depends on how that game goes. But as far as rushing goes, Ingram definitely took a lot of those duties, and Ingram is 100% going to take the goal line duties. So Kamara's production is going to come from the PPR perspective, catching out of the backfield, I think. He can certainly move the ball between the 20s, but if the Saints are up, they'll be keeping the rock on the ground. So I'm thinking Kamara is going to be a dud this week. But I was wrong about Saquon, so probably shouldn't fucking listen to me at all.
Yep. No, especially don't listen to a guy who said that Wendell Smallwood didn't do anything in the backfield when he had 18 carries last week and one catch for 0 yards.
That can't be true. I thought he had one reception for 51 yards. Or is that wrong?
Negative. He had 18 carries for 51 yards and one catch for 0 yards.
That's what it was. I got my stats mixed up. 18 carries for 51 yards. That's not very good. That's like a 2.7 yard per rush, but whatever.
No, I mean he's not the best. He's not the best in the backfield, but they're going to have from what I understand, from what I've been reading, they're going to have a very similar to what Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman were. It's just going to be, instead of being good running backs, they're going to be with serviceable running backs.
Gotcha. All right, so I guess I had my stats mixed up, but nonetheless, I still take Corey Clement as my stud. We have a celebrity studs and dud. Josh, I don't know if you saw it or not.
I did not.
Ooh, it's from Eric Kesteris again, our good friend from our Butt, Sweat, and Beers League. He's got his stud as Zach Ertz, projected 13 points in a half PPR league. Eric's argued that he's been getting 10, 11 targets in his last games, and he's playing against Carolina. So Zach Ertz, he's thinking, is going to outscore that projection of 13, which I think is fair. I'm a big fan of Zach Ertz. I know it's half point PPR, so you kind of lose a couple pointers there, but I mean, one touchdown, he's right up there. He's picking his dud as Javarius Allen, or Buck Allen as we mostly know him. He's projected 10.5 in PPR. He's playing against a pretty good Saints defense. I don't know if I'd say that, Eric. I don't know if it's a pretty good Saints defense at all. But Buck Allen's kind of that guy where he really seems to be seeding running plays to Collins. So I don't know. I've got Buck Allen in a league, and I never want to start him, but I've been having to start him just because of bye weeks and whatnot. But I could definitely see Buck Allen being a dud, and I won't start him unless you absolutely have to.
And Buck Allen's their kind of goal line back within the not even within the red zone, it's within like the 10-yard line. Collins is the between the 10s type of guy. Buck Allen's also the best pass-catching back on that team. So his value is in PPR over just standard leagues, which is why I have him in a standard league, because I'm bad at fantasy.
You're a genius, Josh.
Yep. Speed round this or that, since we took too long last time.
We can do
a recap. Basically, if you listen to us, you probably lost.
Luckily, no one does.
Yep. And so last week we both said Wilson. Wentz did better. We said Eckler. Eckler did do better by 2 points. We both said Smallwood. Drake did better. I picked Fuller. You picked Brown. Fuller had half point more, so suck it.
Fuck you.
We both said Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon won or had 2.7 points more. And then I said Thompson, and you said Jordy. Jordy had 2.6 points, but Thompson didn't play. So, yay. This week, quarterback. On the spreadsheet, it's different than what I have in the recap, because we're going to have a 3-person pick. Oh,
what?
My God. So A, B, or C on this one. Garlic. Peterman, Anderson, or the Brock Lobster. Go.
Well, Peterman should not even be on an NFL field. I'm shocked that he's there. I'm going to take Brock Lobster.
Oh, wait. It's not Peterman. It's oh, God, I'm bad at this.
Great segment you got here, Josh.
And because Anderson's starting over Peterman. So,
correct.
Yikes. Anderson and Brock Lobster.
Just because I think they signed Anderson like this week or last week, I'll take Brock Lobster, because at least I think he had an offseason with those guys, and he was able to beat the Chicago D. Obviously, teams are going to have more tape on him, and Brock Lobster, I'm going to guess, is still a predictable quarterback, because, he was a backup for a reason. He's had starting roles, and he's lost those. So I'll go Brock Lobster just because of his success last week, and the fact that Derek, I think, has got 1 week under his belt. So who knows what that playbook's going to look like, or what they can even call. So I'll take Brock.
Yep. No,
how's that for speed round
so far?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. My bad.
Running back 1, Sony Michel at Chicago or Tariq Cohen versus New England?
Are you going to pick a quarterback, or am I just doing this?
Oh, I picked Lobster.
Okay. I'll take Sony, just because I think he's cool.
No, I'm going to take Sony too, especially if Klimac doesn't play.
God, we're just going to agree on everything? All right, I go back and I take Cohen. I will take Eckler.
No, you can't. You already said it.
God damn it. I'll take Eckler over Ito Smith. Josh, Ito Smith versus New York or Eckler versus Tennessee in London?
I'm going to go with Ito.
Nice. All right, we disagree. Look at that. This or that. Thielen at the Jets or Diggs at the Jets? Thielen's been killing it. I got to go Thielen. Yeah, Thielen.
No, I'm going to go Thielen as well. We're going to agree quite a bit on this one. Boyd or Shepard? Boyd's at Kansas City or Sterling Shepard at Atlanta?
I'll go Boyd. I just think he's been having more success these last few weeks. I believe Shepard was a stud of yours that turned out to be a dud. So I'll go Boyd just based on your personal failure.
I mean, Boyd was a stud that turned into a dud as well in mine. So, yay. I'm going to go Boyd as well just because he had a 2-touchdown week last week. I think he's going to continue that with hopefully a 4-touchdown week since I had him in the league. And then for the flex spot, A-Rob at New England or TJ Yeldon versus Houston?
To be clear, that's Allen Robinson, right?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I just want to be clear. I'll take TJ Yeldon. I want to believe Jacksonville's going to bounce back, so I'll take Yeldon.
Yeah, I'm going to go with A-Rod on this one. I think that he's a favorite target of what's his name, Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
And then Yeldon. I mean, Yeldon's production kind of depends on how the Bort's throwing the ball too. Because if he's throwing the ball to the stands like he typically does, they're going to sell it on the run and do half-man coverage on their wideouts.
Rock on. Yeah. All right. So I fucked it up in the beginning, but for a speed run, that wasn't bad. Anything else for A's, this or that,
No.
Josh? Any other thoughts off the top of your head?
Nope.
All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to move into the more specific segment of our podcast. We're going to start talking about our fantasy.
No, we're not.
league.
We're going to do top 5 in the positions. Are we going to do that today?
Yeah, we're good. I was looking at the agenda and not the recap list for a second there. So sorry, we're not moving segments. I'm stupid. Josh, why don't you talk about top 5s?
Yeah, so I know we're only 6 weeks into the season, so there's still a lot that can happen. But for PPR leagues, the current leaders, quarterbacks, and this is ranked on average points per game, not total points, and some people have had bye weeks, and so people with bye weeks will have less points, obviously, but with the production of the games they have played, it'll be factored in. So Mahomes is first in quarterbacks, averaging 26.4, Breeze second, 25.2, Ryan third, 25.1, Cam Newton 23, and then Aaron Rodgers 22.2. Running backs, we got Gurley at 29.3, Kamara at 28.6, Gordon at 27.1, Barkley 26.2, and Connor at 23.5. And then wide receivers, we got Thielen at 25.2, Devonta Adams at 23.1, Tyreek Hill at 22.7, Michael Thomas 22.4, and DeAndre Hopkins at 20.8.
Yeah,
what do you think of that list, Gar?
I mean, those are just the facts. Those all make sense to me. Mahomes been lighting it up so far. Gurley's a stud. And Thielen, I don't know if he's probably surprised to the rest of the league. You and I know a lot more about him than anybody else. But, especially in a PPR format, I think Thielen's getting like 10 receptions a week or something like that. So the guy's racking up points easily that way.
Yep. I see you didn't insert any predictions.
Oh, that's true.
For how you think it's going to shake out.
Yep, I can certainly do that next week. I was at a water park all day, and so I did not do it. But let's talk about your predictions,
Josh.
Predictions
either.
Oh, are you sure
you
can?
No, we're fine. We'll do it. Yep. No.
Cool.
So Hidden Oaks Redraft League.
Josh is butthurt.
I figured I mentioned we could maybe do predictions at week 8, update the list, and then go from there.
Sure.
So that's the halfway point of the season. Hidden Oaks Redraft. Now we're in the specific part of our segment, so for those of you who are just looking for general fantasy news, please leave. Hidden Oaks
please
Redraft.
leave. Yep.
First matchup, Nikita defeats Garrett, 149.6 to Garrett's 131.8. Nikita being my wife, I love her very much. She wasn't necessarily nervous, but she definitely commented and said, oh gosh, we both have one guy going on Monday night. And I was like, well, who do you have and who does he have? I have Adams, and I knew that. and she's like, he has Crosby. I was like, okay, so you win. That's fine. Turns out Crosby had like 7 points before Adams even got one. So she was a little nervous because they went into it and she was down by 0.5. So,
Gotcha.
But Adams turned it around.
Yep. All right, so good for you, Nikita. Second win on the year. That's 2 in a row, I believe, as well for you. Moving on to matchup 2, Josh beats Nate 99.5 to 78.4. Josh, that is an uncharacteristically low score for you. Mr. Brag about how many points you get per week, but you still got the job done. I don't know if Nate was napping or if he just didn't want to drop any of his stud players, specifically his kicker, because I believe Nate played a kicker that was on a bye. But yeah, I mean, you got the win, Josh. It was a lower scoring matchup, but you won, so that's all that really matters. Good for you, boss.
Yep, Michael Thomas was on a bye, so that didn't help. Brad beat Willie 127.7 to 99.5. Willie had a kicker on a bye.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
And 88.
Sorry, go ahead.
And 88 points on his bench. So, sorry, Willie.
Yeah. So I can't remember why I put the Nate not paying attention link. Maybe at a start. I don't know. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, Nate had a couple guys on there that probably should have been benched. Hilton, I think, was declared out early on.
That's what it was. T.Y. Hilton. All right, we're just going to keep talking over each other because that's what's great for podcasts. T beats Jordan 156 to 125.5. T has Thielen and Jeffrey go for over 56 points, so that's over a third of his points just out of 2 guys. Again, we talked about Thielen just a moment ago, racking up those PPR points, and so it's gonna carry T a lot this season. And again, I think we'll talk about it in a sec. I think T's 5-1, and that one loss came from like a decimal score loss. So I think that really is pissed off T, but he seems to have a pretty solid team. So I won't be surprised to see T in that ship by any means.
Yeah, Derek beats Hammer 136.7 to 126.6. Hammer had Barkley with 38. And then Derek was carried by Hill, Melvin Gordon, and Winston, who scored a combined 105. Good God.
Yeah,
that's 3 players with 105 of 137 points.
I can't remember what the exact breakdown is, but Hill had like 40 or Winston had 40, and the other 2 had 30, and it was great for him. So obviously Derek gets the win. You can't say he's lucky or unlucky, but yeah, he was definitely carried by his big 3. Our last matchup here is Jamie and myself. Jamie beat me 117 to 88.2. Shout out to the Master Chief, Spartan 117. Jamie gets 80 points from Rogers, Hunt, and Goskowski, so she had a good big 3 there as well. I don't remember exactly what the situation was on my team. I think Deshaun Watson only got me 5, and from there it was kind of downhill. So I take another loss. I'm 1-5. Fuck me in the ass.
Pass. Ad drops. Who added sad gas?
that was something I meant to add. Those are literally just letters. Those are just random letters I typed, and it turned out to be sad gas, so I left it. I meant to come back and fix it because I typed these up last night, and obviously the ad drops would have been this morning, and then I didn't. So I think it's funnier though that you left it here. I think this is a better segment than whatever the ad drops really were. But yeah.
Yeah, who cares? They're going to be on the bench anyways. Standings: T and Josh standing alone at 5-1, currently in that bye position. Derek, Brad, and Jordan all sitting at 4-2, still looking good for playoffs. Willie, Nate 3-3 in the hunt. They're in the playoffs, but in the hunt. Hammer sitting at 2-4, leading the bottom of the barrel, but he is technically in the playoffs. Nikita and
do we
Jamie
take 8 teams into the playoffs?
Well.
Pretty sure we only take 6 teams.
I think so. 2 buys.
Would it be 2 buys and 2 matchups at 2? I mean, I think the yellow.
Set it up, Garlic.
I think the yellow indicates that they're on the bubble there.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, then Hammer, Nikita, and Jamie are on the bubble, and then Garrett and Garlic, the co-managers in a different league, are 1-5.
Yeah, we are not doing so hot in this league. I don't know what Garrett's situation is, but I've bitched about it a lot, and it's my fault. 100% it's my fault. But my first 2 picks in this league, I was pick 2. I took Le'Veon Bell. It went all the way back, whatever that is, 20 picks goes back to me. I take Devonta Freeman, just getting fucked in the ass with those 2 picks. It's my fault, but that pretty much put the nail in the coffin for this season. I do agree I did have James Conner, so that helped, but you get most of your points from your first 2 guys, and I'm not getting that, so my fault.
Yeah. Stinky Tinkies.
The old stinker tinker dribbles,
So we have
Josh.
2.
Yep.
T.Y. Hilton got Nate 0. If he would have played Marquise Goodwin, he would have had an additional 29 points.
Yep, so that would have got Nate the win. And then Hammer played Jared Goff, only got him 7.4. If he would have played Wentz instead, who was on his bench, he would have got 24.5 from Wentz and the win over Derek. So sorry, Nate. Sorry, Hammer. Little stinky tinky troubles there. I don't know if you just weren't paying attention to your lineups or if you just felt good about what you had done. But yeah, you lost because of that little stinker tinker trouble there. You accidentally shot yourself. And here comes a lawsuit.
Hey, no, that's copyrighted. Now we're going to get sued. Sorry, Walters. Sorry, Alex.
Hi, Walters. We haven't shouted out him this pod yet. I don't know if he'd listen to our league-specific ones, but hi, Walters. Love you.
Yeah. Next week matchup, Willie versus Josh, both predicted 122. Should be a close one.
That's America's game of the week for sure. Nate and Garrett are playing. Nate's currently projected to lose 116 to Garrett's 127.
Jamie is currently predicted to beat Brad 110 to 97.
T is projected to beat me, and if he doesn't beat me, that'd be a fucking miracle. He's supposed to beat me right now 109 to 98. I think I had a free agency move in there that I could go update it, but T has been putting up hella points. So if I win, it's a miracle on Earth for sure.
And then Derek is projected to beat Jordan 128 to 103.
Yep, and then Nikita, I'm guessing her lineup's a little buy shaky. Right now, Nikita's projected to lose to Hammer 123 to 42. So I'm guessing her whole team's on buy.
I think she has 5 guys on buy. She has Devontae Adams, Antonio Brown are both on buys. And I think one of her running backs, her quarterback, and then her flex is on a buy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's kind of shaky.
Yeah, obviously she hasn't updated her lineup quite yet for the week, but even with the updates, it's going to be rocky.
Yep. Our side bet winner last week, T, congrats, you won by the largest margin, and so you took home $5 for that. So T and I are sitting at the top of that with $10, and then there's a couple more with $5, but I don't have it pulled up, so I don't want to go into it.
No, it's all good. I've got $0 just for the record, so the side bet thing seems like a fucking scam, but it's whatever.
Yeah, no, for shizzle. Next week, Mount Rushmore. So the RB with the most rushing yards. So play running backs.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to win that. But yeah, that should be a fun side bet as usual. These side bets have been pretty fun so far.
I think it's a good way to keep everybody kind of involved, even if you're 1-5 and just dragging tail at the bottom of the rankings, and you're just drafting awful. You still have a chance of winning some money on the side.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do ad drops this week. So Josh, any other thoughts on the Hidden Oaks redraft league there before we move on? You want to talk any trash?
I'm getting hungry for dinner, so I'm trying to move.
Well, that's not working out for you so far, is it?
No. And do you have anything to add, Gar? I suppose I should be polite.
No, don't be fucking polite. I wouldn't recognize you. Nope, I got nothing else. So we'll go ahead and move on to our Dynasty League for the Hidden Oaks. Derek beats Josh, 152.2 to Josh's 145.5. Yeah, Josh, close one there, but Derek got the edge on you.
Yep. Hammer beat the Gars by a ton of points, 158.7 to 135.3.
I don't know if 20 is a ton, but we did lose for sure.
I know.
All right. So yeah, I lost, and then so Nate beats Willie 152.1 to Willie's 113.7. That one's definitely more of a blowout.
Connor beat T 151 to 133.4.
All right, and then Jalen beats Kevin, the bottom feed of the league, 154.9 to Kevin's 108.9. So everyone seems to be enjoying that Kevin buy so far this year.
I will point out that all of the winners scored in the 150s. 151, between 151 and 158.7.
It's true.
All of the losers were still over 100, so that's nice.
Yeah, even Kevin. Good job, little buddy.
Second week in a row, I think he's got over 100.
Yeah, he almost beat
But
two.
yeah, I played Kevin this week, so I'm going to lose. It's guaranteed. Mostly because all my wide receivers are on bye. So,
yeah.
Yay.
Do you want to read your notes here, Josh? We didn't read those as we were going through the recap.
Yeah, I'll let you read mine, and then I'll read your matchups.
Josh had multiple stinky tinkies because he's a big fat doo-doo head who sucks at fantasy.
Yeah, I think I had like 5 or 6 when I was looking through it.
Yikes! I mean, that 30-man roster is definitely not helping the stinky tinky troubles, but
No. I mean, we only have 2, so it's not that bad. You had a stinky tinky if you would have played Marquise Goodwin over Mike Williams. That would have been a 26-point swing. Give you the win there. My notes for your game was, Chris Thompson didn't even play, and it cost Hammer the game. Oh, wait, Hammer still won the game? That's funny.
Fuck you, Josh. God fucking damn it, I hate you.
Yes, for ad drops. I'm sure there were some. Standings at this time, Connor and Jalen. Oh, my God. Connor, Jalen, Willie, and Derek all at 4-2. Nate, Josh, and Gar squared 3-3. Hammer and T at 2-4, and then Kevin at 0-6. So it's anybody but Kevin's game, everybody.
Yeah. I got nothing else to add there. A lot of 4-2s, but I think Willie was on top of the league at 4-1 just last week. But you can see how I think Jalen there had the Kevin bye and just a couple more wins, and it's anybody's game. So obviously we're talking about it early; it's only week 6 here, but these matchups are going to start counting a lot, and the standings will be important here in just a few weeks. So it'll be exciting to watch.
Yeah. So let's talk about BSB.
Little butt sweat beers league, Josh.
I forgot to take notes on this league.
Ooh, did we? I mean, we won our game.
Yeah.
So that's important, right?
Yeah. It's the importanter. The most importanter.
All right, so yeah, we no notes are taken on this league this week. I didn't realize that until just now either, so I'm not trying to shit on Josh. The standings are up to date. I definitely updated those last night. You can talk about the standings if you want.
Well, here I got the matchups up. We want to give the people what they want.
Yeah, let's give it to those Latvians, those Chicagoans, and those dirty Australians. Go eat a fucking kangaroo, you freaks.
All right. Hidden Oaks beat Brett squared at 107.38 to 90.7. Suck it. Check My Balls beat Jono's Burtons 126.26 to 119.2. That's a close matchup. Cockknockers got their knock cocked by Just Bears Fan 118.24 to 85.26. Congrats, Bears Fan. Erect Dicker got stomped by Touchdown My Pants 156 to 83.8. Dalton Abbey 107.5 beat Alex Smith first round, who has the Manning face as his team picture, and that is hilarious. So props to you. Sorry, but he scored 86.64 and lost. So you suck, but nice picture.
Cool picture, buddy. You
suck. And then the lowest scoring game of the week, Futbuckers 88.6 to 2 girlies. Oh, God! No girlies, no cups. 66.
Oh, Josh, you were fucking close there. You be careful.
Yeah, so a couple close matchups there. As far as Stinky Tinky goes, didn't take the time to look into it, obviously, since it didn't take notes. But we're just going to go ahead and say that if Jono's Burtons didn't play Alfred Morris and played Matt Breida, they'd have won, which is true. They could have also, holy cow, they got some decent quarterbacks. So yeah, play Matt Breida over Alfred Morris. Other close games, yeah, we're not going to look at those. Week 7 matchups. Hidden Oaks playing Just Bears Fan. Battle of the NFC North. Jono's Burtons playing Dalton Abbey. Erect Dicker playing Cockknockers. So the male genitalia battle. Touchdown My Pants is playing Futbuckers. No Girlies, No Cups is playing Check My Bows. And Brett Squared is playing Alex Smith first round.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I understand we had that one loss there that kind of shook us, but we're back on track. As far as standings go, we got TD My Pants still undefeated 6-0. That's honestly impressive. I think you just said he put up 156 this week or 158 or something like that to someone's 80. So obviously he's got a pretty solid team.
I will point out I'm pretty sure he's a commissioner of the league. So
no, I'm pretty sure Check My Balls is the commissioner of the league.
Well, until further notice, Touchdown My Pants is cheating.
Yeah, well, I just want to. I'm
we
pretty
have a
sure
podcast. You can't argue.
I'm 95% Check My Balls is Eric's, and he's the commissioner of the league, and he's the guy who has been contributing to the show through Facebook. So I don't want to say you're a fucking idiot, Josh, but I hate you.
Well, you do every other day.
That's true. Anyways, back to the standings. Heat of my pants, 6-0, undefeated. Like I said, Hidden Oaks, us, we're 5-1. Dalton Abbey, it's also 5-1 though, so they're right on our heels. We probably just have a few more points per them. Check My Balls and Just Bears fan are both 4-2. Futtbuckers is the only 3-3 team right there at the end of the playoff bubble currently. We have 4 2-4s. Alex Smith first round, Jonas Burton's Cockknockers team, and our Wreck Dicker all 2-4. Brett and Brett 1-5, and then no Grillies, no Cup, 0-6. Womp womp. Hey Josh, this is the part where you talk, so there's not dead air.
Yeah, no, I know. Garlic, do you mind doing me a favor and pushing the 0 on your number pad?
The 0 on my notepad, Josh. Is there any particular reason I would touch the 0 and not any other key?
I just like the sound of that button.
All right, well, let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's say you said 0, correct? Just want to confirm before I touch it. All right, I'll 0. Here it is.
There's a bunch of losers in Minnesota.
Wait a second. I think he tricked me. Is there any other buttons you want me to press?
Can you try pushing the period or the dot next to that 0?
Are you sure this isn't going to be like some sort of trick?
No tricks here.
All right, I'm going to push the period, Josh. If you trick me here, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, okay, well, the Vikings are terrible.
Wait a second, Josh. I think you tricked me again.
Outro. Final words. Thank you for listening. Nikita, thank you. This is your shout-out that you didn't get last week and reminded me about every night between then and now.
Yeah,
this is your shout-out, Nikita. Love you.
Nikita is a beautiful wife, and she's unlikely to listen to the outro, but the shout-out is there, so now you can throw it in her face because you guys are a cute little fit.
She listened to it last time. She said we didn't shout her out, and she was upset with us.
Ooh, classic. She's going to be upset with me no matter what I do.
Odin, Jesus, change your diet, dude. My dog, Odin just, whoo.
He just farted up a storm.
Holy crop dust.
Good thing that happened at the end of the podcast. You might not have made it through. I'll shout out to Ryan Walters, our beloved fan. Also shout out to Eric's, whatever the fuck your last name is. Josh always says it's equestrian, but that's not right. We appreciate you listening and contributing to the show 2 weeks in a row. That's awful nice of you. Thank you. Eric Landvik, another Eric I have to shout out. Thank you, Eric Landvik, for apparently listening. I believe Jamie put on Facebook last week that she is now a weekly listener. I'm going to call bullshit on that, but Jamie, if you are a weekly listener, go ahead and text me when you hear this. The penguin has landed. That'll be your secret code to let me know you listen. You have to text it to me or post on Facebook. The penguin has landed. And Eric Landvik, don't you fucking help her, okay? Josh, any other final thoughts or final words?
Well, if they listen, they've officially listened to it more than I have because I listened to it for my first time today and had to quit after 15 minutes.
Did you just go back so you could hear the A and B results?
Possibly.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we got no other final thoughts, I'd just like to thank you for having me, Josh. I understand you didn't actually have me this week, but you have me in spirit, and I'm sure that's all you really count for. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget to engage the show with hiddenokesoverdose@gmail.com or Facebook. And yeah.
Don't forget to thank your neighbor.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I wonder if they can still hear me.
They can 100% still hear you. This is the bit in the show where we can talk through the outro music. I don't know if you remember that.
We have that
or
bit?
not. What's that?
We actually have that bit?
Oh, yeah. We 100% have that bit.
No.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this song goes on for like
I'm
another
gonna go make
couple...
dinner.
All right, you can hang up. I'll just sit here and talk to myself. We're under an hour, so that was cool.
Wow.
I know.
All right. Love y'all.
Bye, Josh.